Pop the top, it's time for another video to drop, and today we're going to be doing a little something different here. We're going to be talking about Mustafa Ali and why Mustafa Ali needs to go on to Smackdown Live in 2019 and not only win a singles championship, but become one of the faces of the brand. And now, for anyone that's followed the channel for a little bit now, I've talked about it quite a bit. Anyone that's followed me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Phoenix Nitro. Anyone that's followed me on Twitter, twitter.com/Phoenix Nitro. You guys have known 205 Live is one of my favorite brands to watch right now. 205 Live is one of my favorite things to get behind in the WWE right now. And Mustafa Ali is a big part of that, man, because he like many others, have taken the ball in 205 Live and tried to run with it in situations where, honestly, they're not really put to the best place. You know, they're put on after Smackdown Live. They're put on, you know, to kind of dead crowds because, well, they've already seen so much wrestling. So they have no good footing before the show even starts, regardless of what the product is. And then they go out there week in and week out and kill it over and over and over again. Mustafa Ali has had some of my favorite matches this year with Buddy Murphy, etc. The matches with Cedric, etc. So many matches, man, that Mustafa's had this year with Hideo Itami. So many matches he's had has been great. And now I can't believe what I'm saying, but just a couple nights ago on Smackdown Live, to date the video a little bit, a couple nights ago, this is being recorded a couple days after, yeah. So it would be a couple days after. Mustafa did face Daniel Bryan, the current WWE Champion, on Smackdown Live. And just saying that is insane to me because no one expected Mustafa Ali, one, to ever get on the turn. Whoa, wait a minute, Bryan. Dang, I'm trying to explain some stuff. No one ever expected Mustafa Ali to ever make it to the main roster in terms of, well, he started off as a Cruiserweight Classic alternate. So to see him on 205 Live excelling, that's great. However, I don't think anyone's expected any of the Cruiserweights to ever go to Raw or SmackDown. But then you saw people like Drake Maverick, which I mean the GM of 205 Live, go over to become the manager of the Authors of Pain over on Raw. You saw Lio Rush become the manager of Bobby Lashley on Raw. Now he's actually getting airtime in matches too. Just beat Elias on Raw, which was crazy. Now you have Mustafa Ali on SmackDown. And I don't know if this is going to be a permanent thing. Probably not. I would say it's probably not. But here's why they should do this permanently. Mustafa Ali has every potential in the world to become the best underdog babyface that they have on SmackDown now that Daniel Bryan has been turned heel. Honestly, if you look at the Mustafa Ali story, you gotta think to yourself, this has babyface written all over it. Babyface underdog written all over it. This man's story is insane, man, with what he's been through. And then you have the Cruiserweight Classic, like I said. He was an alternate in the Cruiserweight Classic. He wasn't even picked to be in the Cruiserweight Classic. And yet he's rose to be one of the top stars on 205 Live. From an alternate to a top star. That's insane to me. And now you have him going out there. He puts on an absolute barn burner with Daniel Bryan. Absolutely killed it, man, on SmackDown Live. Like everyone knows he could. And everyone on, like you saw everyone on social media, it was a Twitter moment. Everyone talking highly about Mustafa Ali after the match. It was just good stuff all around, man. It was absolutely good stuff all around. I hope he's going to be on the main roster from now on. I mean, 205 Live, I hear people always saying 205 Live is the main roster, but if you're not Raw or SmackDown to me, I don't really count it as main roster. Now, with that said, it is kind of cool to see now the Cruiserweight Championship is actually starting to be defended on pay-per-views again. And as long as they're not put on the kickoff show, I feel like that's a great thing. That's always been my problem with them putting the Cruiserweight matches on pay-per-views because they always get put on the kickoff show because there's just a stat card and I guess 205 Live isn't really their biggest priority. And I mean, that's understandable, but at the same time, it's still one of your top brands. So, I mean, you got to kind of show some respect and love to it, especially with the talent level that is on 205 Live. They go out there to a dead crowd most of the time, and by the end of every single match, they always win the crowd over. Go back and look at Survivor Series, man. Go back and look at Buddy Murphy versus Mustafa Ali at Survivor Series. They went into a rather dead crowd. They came out to the crowd chanting 205, let's go Cruiserweights, etc. It was insane. It was absolutely insane. It was great to see everyone get behind the brand Because you have people like Buddy Murphy going out there. You have people like Mustafa Ali going out there and just absolutely killing it week in and week out, night in, night out. So Mustafa Ali, honestly, I feel like in my opinion, in 2019, he should become the United States champion at some point. At some point, he should become the United States champion. I feel like he would be the perfect babyface to hold that title. I feel like there's just so many matches you could do with him with that title, and it would be great stuff to see all around. Imagine Samoa Joe versus Mustafa Ali. Imagine Rey Mysterio versus Mustafa Ali. Randy Orton versus Mustafa Ali. I know y'all want to see them cutters. I know y'all want to see this move I'm about to hit right now get countered into a cutter. I know you want to see it. So imagine things like that, man. Just there's so many potential matches. 1, 2, and only a 2 count. There's so many potential matches that Mustafa Ali could have. Not only just Mustafa. This is another big reason why I feel like they should really, really go all out with Mustafa on SmackDown Live. Because he is the perfect cruiserweight to be the first cruiserweight of this new era to make it on to bigger and better things, to move on to bigger and better things, to show that you can go from being a cruiserweight to being a top player. Honestly, similar to Chris Jericho. When you think about Chris Jericho back in the day, was WCW Cruiserweight Champion. He was really the very first, I believe he actually was the very first. I might be getting the stat wrong, but I believe he was the very first Cruiserweight Champion from WCW to ever win a major championship outside of that. Because then he went on to win the WWE Championship at Unforgiven? Yeah. Wait, Unforgiven? Or was, oh my God, Mustafa Ali just died. Mustafa Ali just died because I botched. Oh my goodness, that's crazy. I believe it was Unforgiven, right? It was either Unforgiven or Armageddon. I think it was Unforgiven, though, where he beat The Rock and Austin in one night. Pretty sure it was Unforgiven. But that was a December month pay-per-view, and Unforgiven was always moving around. Nevertheless, Jericho was the first cruiserweight to go on to win a major championship, I believe at least, after being Cruiserweight Champion. Having Ali set that tone for the current Cruiserweight division would be absolutely great, because that's the perfect guy you want as the guy to go on and show the world what the Cruiserweight division is all about. He has perfect promo ability. He has perfect in-ring ability. He is perfectly marketed as a babyface. He plays an amazing heel, but let's focus on the babyface run for now. It's just, there's so many positives about it. There's so many positives about it that it would just help and it would benefit SmackDown Live. Now, you see, I keep saying SmackDown Live because I don't trust Raw's writing at all. I feel bad for Leo because he is stuck on Monday Night Raw. And, I mean, we see what Raw is all about right now. It's just, it's hard times, as Dusty Rhodes would say. It's hard times. So let's keep the focus on SmackDown Live real quick. And, man, I hope that this happens. I really, really do hope that it happens with Mustafa. Just because he would be the perfect guy. To reiterate, he would just be the perfect guy to build the cruiserweights around to show that you can go and do bigger and better things. You can go off and be a top player. Look at Rey Mysterio on SmackDown Live. He was a Cruiserweight champion way back in the day a couple times. And now, I mean, he was also world champion. Won the championship at WrestleMania 22 against Randy Orton and Kurt Angle. No one expected him to. Crazy things happen. I mean, I hope they get out of this mindset where they have to pigeonhole the Cruiserweight talent. I really do. Because I don't think they should do that at all. I don't think the Cruiserweight talent should be pigeonholed just to 205 Live. I feel like if you're succeeding and you're doing great stuff, I feel like you should be able to go to the Raw and SmackDown. I feel like 205 Live should be looked at as developmental in a sense. Just a Cruiserweight specific developmental. Not even really developmental in the sense that they're only like, they're working at the Performance Center every day, et cetera, et cetera. Maybe like a finishing school. Let's look at it like that, like it's a finishing school. For like, oh, okay, you're doing all this good stuff. That's great. So we're going to try to finish you up here on 205 Live if you're a Cruiserweight. I feel like they should have the same stuff for like a women's only show. I feel like that would be great. I mean, granted, a lot of people are like, well, that's too much content. But in my opinion, with the network, you can never have too much content because you're the one that gets to choose if you're going to watch it. Same thing with YouTube. You can sit there and you can watch all 90 currently of my videos from the My Career series, or you could just watch one a day. It's your choice, you know? So, I mean, I don't feel like content's ever a bad thing. I feel like, or more content's ever a bad thing. I feel like you should be able to honestly just put out as much as you can, especially with WWE. You should be able to put out as much as you can on the network. And then, really, realistically, no one should really care because they have the choice. It's on-demand content. And I feel like that would be great for the women's roster as well, because then you would have a lot more opportunities for storylines, etc. But that's going a bit off point here. Nevertheless, Mustafa Ali, man, just, I can't tell you how happy I was to see the announcement made that he was going to face Daniel Bryan on Smackdown. It was insane to see that match, man. It was absolutely insane to see that match. And it makes you feel good when you see that people are starting to see what everyone has been seeing that's been dedicated to 205 Live. That the Cruiserweight roster is absolutely amazing. Moonsault gets missed. Oh, my goodness. The Cruiserweight roster is just, it's absolutely phenomenal, man. And people just didn't give it a chance after the whole Enzo situation. Which, I mean, fair play, because 205 Live during that situation was just very, very, very bad. But once Triple H took over, as everyone knows now, it's been documented, once Triple H took over in, I believe, February, and we got Drake Maverick as the general manager, as well as that Cruiserweight tournament, where you saw Buddy Murphy get called up to 205 Live. You saw that crazy match with Mustafa Ali. You saw Roderick Strong go up. You saw Hideo Itami go up. Like, just ever since that tournament, man, 205 Live has just been on fire with just absolute barn burner matches, absolutely bangers popping off on 205 Live, mostly all the time. Literally, I think you can at least go back and look at 205 Live this year and pretty much find a banger on every single show. And, I mean, I don't think that's hyperbole at all. Honestly, I really feel like you can. 1, 2, only a 2 count because Mustafa gets up because you can't break up pinfalls from the dive. And I don't want to end it off a frog splash. Boom, big shot. But yeah, I feel like you can easily go back and look at the 205 Live episodes, and you can easily find a banger on every single card this year. And it just shows that the Cruiserweight should be taken more seriously. And Mustafa Ali, definitely a guy that you can build that the believability. Is that a word? I don't know. But you can just build the trust that the brand works with Mustafa Ali. You can build that trust with the core audience that, hey, Mustafa Ali, this man's amazing. He came from 205 Live. We got to start tuning into 205 Live. Who's going to come up next from 205 Live? Like, you can have moments like that, man. And it'll be great. It'll be great content all around. Big gut kick from Daniel Bryan. Oh, no. Oh, God, that big forearm. But, yeah, man, like, I really hope that they start integrating the Cruiserweights like they've been doing. I hope they keep 205 Live alive while they're doing that, too. I don't want 205 Live to die while they're integrating these Cruiserweights onto the main roster. I think they should keep doing 205 Live because they've built something special with 205 Live. And I really feel like doing this now is just a very smart way of them building up more hype for 205 Live, if anything, because you're going to have these guys that can go on the other shows. And it's kind of like ECW was back in like 2008 and 2007, where you had like Armando Alejandro Estrada as the GM, and he was working with like Teddy Long and was at that time Mike Adamle the GM, I think, but he was working with those GMs, and like obviously in a kayfabe sense, but he was working with them and like showing off that, hey, you guys want to use some of our roster? That's cool. Let's use some of your roster too. Obviously with 205 Live, you don't want to do that much, but I mean, it could work. You could use the 205 Live guys on Raw or SmackDown. It'd be great content. It would honestly be great content. It would help build the brand of 205 Live, and it would do more for Mustafa Ali and 205 Live than you would think. That's pretty much my biggest thing with it, is that Mustafa Ali is the perfect pick for this, man. He is the perfect guy to grab the flag of 205 Live and proudly wave it on Raw and SmackDown and say, hey, look, we have talent here on this brand. Come look at our brand. And that's pretty much why I think Mustafa Ali should get a WWE United States Championship opportunity in 2019. That's why I feel like he should be on SmackDown Live in 2019. And that's why I feel like Mustafa Ali is the perfect guy to carry the flag of 205 Live. And that'll be it for this one, guys. If you are new, go hit that subscribe button. We're on the road to 2K. If you're already subscribed, go hit that bell so every single time we upload. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. And as always and forever, take it easy, guys. Peace.